So here's what the Catback looks like right out of the box. As you can see, it's packaged pretty well. Every single pipe is covered with bubble wrap, and dang, look at those welds. Not too shabby. For a cheap Catback, that's, you know, it's not bad. One of the reasons why I got this Catback is because the whole thing is actually 304 stainless steel. And if anybody doesn't know, that's the best stainless steel that you can have. The 409 stuff is still pretty good, but the 304 lasts much longer, and I think it actually polishes out the best, if I'm not mistaken. Here it is laid out. It's kind of nice that it's actually just two pieces. Slipping this over the axle might be a little bit difficult because you have to drop it down and whatnot to get it to slide over, but it honestly looks like a really, really good piece for the price. This is the DNA Catback that became pretty well known as the eBay Catback for 99 to 04 Mustangs. And funny enough, I'm actually wearing my DNA high performance t-shirt. These are not the same people who make this Catback, I don't think. This is a company that started a couple years ago, I'm pretty sure. They sell a whole bunch of Mustang performance parts. Hit them up on Instagram if you're looking for stuff. Definitely a good brand. They always have really good deals. But getting back to the Catback, this is the cheapest Catback that you can buy for these cars. And the fact that it's all stainless steel, the fact that, you know, it has really nice welds on it. It even has 4-inch exhaust tips. Look at this. These tips are 4 inches. You can see like just how much wider they are compared to the actual piping of the rest of the exhaust. Not a huge fan of this style. I may or may not end up like cutting them right there and adding a different style tip eventually if the Catback does turn out to be nice. But this Catback is very, very similar to the Borla Touring Catback. So these mufflers aren't as loud as Borla Stingers, but they are more like the Borla Touring, which are pretty much the exact same shape as those. Wow, look at that. That is shiny. So I went ahead and turned the car around, make it easier to work on it to get this Catback off of it. Now, for any guys wondering, why am I putting the cheapest Catback that you can get onto a 600 horsepower Cobra swapped Bullet? If you guys have been following me on my channel for a while, you know that I run an IRS Catback on the car. The only issue is that whenever you go to work on the car, you can only jack it up from the differential. And this Catback is actually even more difficult to do so just because of how close the pipes are together. You can't even roll a jack under there to get it to the diff. So you have to drive it up onto ramps and then get the jack under there and do it. And it's just a pain in the ass. As much as I like the look, I just want the functionality back of having a solid axle exhaust on the car just to make it easier to work on. Sony Catback is off the car, and the new Catback is ready to be put on. The only thing I didn't take out of the box, forgot about, were these gaskets. So it's actually kind of interesting. I don't think there's any other Catback for these cars that, you know, is made like this where you put a gasket right here. It's usually like slip over clamps and stuff. So what I think I'm gonna do is slide the tips and this part of the Catback onto the car first, since the hangers are right there. Also, this whole piece should be supported pretty well by the hangers and it won't fall or droop down at all. Probably going to have to drop the axle or the rear end just a little bit to slide that over. I've never been able to get a exhaust off a solid axle without having to drop it down a little bit. So I was able to get one side on. All I had to do was unbolt the shocks and just let the rear end drop down just a little bit, and I was able to slide it over right there. Got the hanger on it, as you can see, kind of right there. And yeah, I got the back of it on there. It's just loosely sitting on the hanger, as you can see. But that 4-inch tip though, it doesn't look too bad, you know, from the back. The side, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's take this plastic off of here. It almost looks like the Borla tips, but I'm not sure if the Borlas are a 4-inch. I think they might be 3.5. I'm gonna get the other side on, and then the mufflers should be ready to bolt right up. Here's what it looks like under the car. Honestly, right now, the fitment seems to be pretty good. And the mufflers are in, as you can see. Fitment, not terrible. It's a little close on this side to the frame. And if you can tell, this muffler is actually touching the drive shaft slightly. I think once it's down on the wheels though, it obviously won't be touching, but if I ever hit a really hard bump or anything like that and the car, you know, moves upward a lot, it could potentially hit that a couple times. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's a nice Catback. The tips, they're pretty nice, not bad looking. Mufflers are shiny, which is nice. And overall, it looks good, and it's stainless steel, so it'll last. So this is like the #1 reason right here why I wanted to ditch the IRS exhaust, and it's for this reason right here. If I can twist this without the car falling too hard, and that is I can finally lower the jack from the car without having to have ramps or the jack getting stuck under the exhaust. So that is nice. I am gonna miss the look for sure. All right, let's start this thing up, see what it sounds like. It's not as droney as the Bassani Catback, but it smells. I think it's just the new exhaust smell.
Wearing a DNA Performance shirt.
I know, but it's not the same brand. This is like a performance company. That's like that's the brand, but I don't know. I thought it'd be funny. My initial impression is that it sounds like the Bassani exhaust that I just took off, but it's actually quieter. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as droney, which I like, but you can tell it's pretty quiet. So there you have it. That is the DNA Catback for '99 to '04 Mustangs. And honestly, it really doesn't sound that bad. It's not the loudest exhaust system. It's not the quietest either. I'd say it's right in the middle. It's about a moderate noise level exhaust, but it still, even though it's not super, super loud, it still sounds really good. It sounds like the Borla exhaust systems, you know, and honestly, for 200 bucks, you really can't go wrong with it. So if anybody's thinking about picking one of these up, I would definitely recommend it. Like I said before in the video though, the fitment, you know, it's okay. It's not the best. That's kind of what you get for $200. But the way that it sounds and the fact that it's all stainless steel, like that's pretty good. That's a very well made Catback for the price. So even though I do like the sound of it, I still am wanting to try and put the MagnaFlow MagnaPacks onto this Catback. I don't know if it'd be possible or not, how well that it would line up with the piping of this Catback, but that is my plan. I want to get the MagnaPacks on it eventually, but for right now, I think I'm gonna rock it the way it is, just because, I mean, I kind of like it. I really think that it sounds good, and it's not obnoxiously loud, which I like. So I don't think there's anything else to say about this exhaust. If you're thinking about buying one, I definitely would recommend it. And if you're like me and you end up not liking the mufflers, I mean, you can always just take it to an exhaust shop or do the exhaust work yourself, get a different pair of mufflers put in, and then you have a full stainless steel Catback for a much cheaper price than all the other ones. So it's definitely a good buy for anybody considering getting one. Give this video a like if it helped anybody out, subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will see you guys in the next one.